the second technique I want to teach you is called the zone of control. I think of this one as a little bit like the serenity prayer, like the Psychologist version of the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference, right? So what we do in the zone of control is we take kind of an overwhelming thing like, oh, I'm starting a new camp, or, oh, I've got to plan the next season, right? And it's really like so big. And then there's maybe parts of it that we can control and parts of it that we cannot control. The smartest thing to do is to make sure we don't waste one single moment of our time and energy on the things we cannot control. And then we do put lots of time and energy into the things that we can control, and that we do it in a really strategic way. So let's suppose that we're thinking about employee turnover, and it just feels overwhelming, and there's nothing we can do about that fact, so we can put employee turnover in the zone of non-control. However, in the zone of control is that we might be able to find ways to improve retainment, and then the key is you put down an action step. So in this case, it's I'll meet with my colleagues to do some brainstorming, and then I will implement and pilot these strategies. It's really important to actually write them down, because when we're under stress or threat, even our physical vision becomes more narrow. It's a kind of an outdated gift from Mother Nature in a way, so that we could outrun an animal or something like that. But now it can actually help us if we take the trouble to write down in advance what our action steps are, so that when we get that little zing of energy from Mother Nature, because we're feeling nervous about our next goal, all we have to do is point our eyeballs right at our action step. So for example, another one would be competitors arising. Can't really do anything about that, right? But we could, for example, say survey, some existing customers, figure out what's working for them, maybe even follow up with the people who did not become clients and campers, figure out why. And then the action item would be, I don't want to do that personally, so I'll ask my assistant to draft a survey and to provide some suggestions and all these little admin steps. Now again, you can see when we're sitting here calmly thinking about these things, it makes perfect sense. We can just write them down. But if we wait until we're actually kind of feeling harried and nervous, it's actually much harder to think of these things. So we'll do much better if we fill them out like this.